How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Michael Thurber, photojournalist and sociologist right here at VEDA World News. Today, we have a very, very special guest here. He was working on the set of Elmore Vision's Joseph Elmore's boxing movie called Rage. It is all the rage. The man himself, Gabriel Bush.
How y'all doing?
How you feeling today?
Pretty good.
Good. There's a long drive, I know that.
Yeah.
Houston traffic, we talked about that.
Yeah.
All right, so for today, we're talking about you. Everything's about you, Mr. Bush.
Okay.
All right, so when did you start acting?
Actually,
When became an actor?
The very first project I ever had in my life was in middle school.
Okay.
I played Travis in a stage production of Raisin in the Sun.
Okay, and that is a very famous and prestigious play.
It is.
How did you get that role? I know we talked about it, but we need to talk about it for them.
My dad actually was helping produce the film, and he was the set director.
See, you didn't say that last time.
I didn't, but that's how it happened. That's how it happened.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad was actually the set director, and they needed somebody, and he was like, "Do it."
Okay,
and it wasn't.
And it's just been on like that
Yeah.
ever since.
Yeah.
I mean, like when you first got out there, you know, you're a young guy, your first play, your first reading of the lines, memorizing those. Like, what was it like just looking or being in that space?
I did not like it. I was a kid.
Okay.
I was 12, 13 years old. I wanted to play basketball with my friends.
Gotcha.
But, you know, as I got more into it, I found out that it was something that I just had an knack to do. As soon as the curtain went up and they said action, I forgot where I was.
Really?
I was just in it. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
when you said you forgot where you were,
Mhm.
is that necessarily a bad thing or a good thing?
It's not a bad thing because you lose all your inhibitions and you give yourself away to the character and the situation at hand.
Okay.
So no, it isn't a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because it allows you to focus more. You're not
Gotcha.
thinking about the audience. You're not thinking about, nervousness or any of that stuff. You just kind of let yourself go. And I did that at like 12 or 13. I just wasn't even thinking about anybody looking at me. I was just worried about getting it right.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was the next project after that?
I don't remember the name of it, but after that, I was in a Christmas play.
Okay.
I honestly don't remember the name. It was about a year later after that.
Did Dad throw you into that one?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Okay.
You did so good in the last one, do this one too. I'm like,
Gotcha.
all right, fine. But I don't remember the name of it.
Okay.
It was a Christmas production. And after that, I did a couple of plays in high school.
Mhm.
And then really I kind of moved more into music.
Really?
I started producing music, and I did that for a while. I did some albums and some projects for a lot of well-known artists here in Houston.
Really? So
Yeah.
what were you like, just behind the scenes in production, or were you
Mhm.
playing instruments? What was that like?
It was production. I did the music production. I played keyboards.
Okay.
So I did some work for, I don't know if can I name drop? I don't
No,
know if
you can. This is uncensored. We don't
Okay.
do any censorship here.
Okay, yeah, I worked with a lot of Houston artists, so like Rue, Bushwick Bill, Von
Okay.
Juan on his album, Big Pokey, Rashad, a lot of people.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Everybody can't say that they had the opportunity to do that. I mean, coming from stage plays to, professional music production, different things like that. Let me ask you, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years as an actor?
As an actor, I want to actually start working on my own projects. I
Okay.
have a bunch of scripts that I've written, and I see myself more moving into the director's chair because the projects I've worked on, although they're very diverse casts, I
Mhm.
didn't write myself as the star of them. I wrote
Really?
them as more diverse, more universal appeal to broader audiences.
Gotcha.
Than just one particular demographic.
We talked about something that was very sensitive
Mhm.
and something that really doesn't get talked about as far as black film actors, American black actors.
Mhm.
What are some of those issues that you see needs to be either overcome or, changed? Or even addressed?
As far as in what aspect? Like,
Well, just you as an actor. Like, what do you see in Hollywood, even on the independent film front? What are you seeing? What are some of those issues and struggles?
oh geez, it's so numerous. I believe the lack of opportunity is one thing. I believe the lack of individuals in certain demographics like minorities being in positions of power to give us those opportunities should be addressed as well. We don't have people in positions of power to greenlight films, for one. We don't have many people, we don't have anybody other than Tyler Perry that owns a film studio to have that power to just greenlight their own movies.
You know, I did read that Cat Williams was he bought recently a film production studio that used to be a military base at some point.
Okay.
So that's one.
Right.
But again, it goes back to what you're saying. That's not the norm,
not
and it's
at all.
most certainly not the average.
Right. Even 50 Cent is trying to do that. I believe he bought some space
Louisiana.
in Louisiana, in Shreveport, and he's trying to open G-Unit Studios, but he's getting roadblocks. He tried to do it here in Houston.
He's getting roadblocks.
Yeah, he's
I
getting
thought that thing was already up and running.
Sort of, but not on the level that he wants it to be.
What's happening?
Because he's doing, he's got BMF and he's got power and he's got all of that, but what else does he have? See, and those are with stars. That's not even under his own G-Unit label yet.
Wow.
So he signed deals with stars, but where's his own products at? Where's his own productions at?
Understood.
Outside of stars, it's just not there. And Cat Williams, you're talking about just recently. So you got Cat Williams,
very recent.
you got Tyler Perry, and you got 50 Cent. But before, where's everybody else?
Well, is there a lack in you from your professional perspective? Is there a lack of interest amongst Black Americans when it comes to not only simply getting into Hollywood roles and even acting, but as far as dominating that space as directors, as producers? What are you seeing there?
I don't think there's a lack of interest, because I know a lot of actors who want to do more and have the ability to do more, but they lack the opportunity. Interest is there.
Okay.
We have a multitude of Houston actors, a multitude of Houston directors, and a lot of people putting out decent material, but they're not. The interest from major studios isn't there. It's a lot of red tape, a lot of bureaucracy, and a lot of I don't know, other than just not having the opportunity ourselves to greenlight our own work. Hollywood is run by the old school ways, and getting past that red tape requires a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort. Tyler Perry just recently broke through, even though he was doing his own independent stuff.
Right.
Now he's getting the attention of Hollywood. Notice Tyler Perry's never won an Oscar. All of the work
That's
he's
something to
put
think
out,
about. That is a lot of work he's put
never
out.
won an Oscar. Never even been nominated. How is that possible?
Why do you think?
Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Hollywood.
Okay.
He's doing it in no matter how you look at it, no matter how much money Tyler Perry has, he's still independent.
Yes.
He's still doing his own work. He's still greenlighting his own work. Why aren't major studios helping, signing his stuff and getting him Oscar worthy, and set up to get nominated at all?
And his films do relatively well.
Yeah.
Even the television series, the Netflix shows, they do relatively well. And even with all of his tremendous amount of success, he has not been able to, break that glass ceiling in Hollywood.
Yeah, and the man's worth $1 billion, and they're still like, man.
Well, let me ask you this.
It's interesting.
Your thoughts on the Chinese film industry and how Black Americans can possibly work within that industry. What are your thoughts on that? Because they have a very robust film industry.
You talking about over in China?
Yes.
I don't know.
I know it's a tough,
That's an interesting question, because even China kind of operates under the old Hollywood rules when it comes to gigantic films. If you look at how they promote films in China, they kind of whitewash all of their promotion.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Why?
12 Years a Slave. That movie was promoted in China as starring Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt was in that movie for 3 minutes.
I never saw it.
You never saw 12 Years a Slave?
I've never saw it. That's primarily because I'm so busy doing what I do.
Yeah.
But only 3 minutes,
Brad
and they
Pitt was
put
in
him
it.
as a star.
They put him as starring on the poster and everything. Pushed Chiwetel Ejiofor to the small and pushed Brad Pitt. You know what I'm saying? Big, like he's starring it. He's in it 3 minutes.
Wow.
So they even whitewash their own promotions of American films over there. So I see the same problem over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, we started our initial conversation on set, and I said, hey, you know who you look like, and I know you're getting ready to say his name, because people are going to see this, and they, you know, can you say that actor's name? Because if I say it, it's like he doesn't know what he's talking about, but you get it all the time.
All the time, yeah, Jaimin Hansu.
Yeah, and we talked about his lack of success, well, coming from his standpoint, whereas he kind of felt like he's not getting the necessarily roles or the credit or even the awards that he feels he's supposed to have. Your thoughts on that?
You know, there's a lot of different perspectives you can say about that, but as I stated to you, why isn't he getting the phone calls for more leading man roles? I don't know why, but I think it goes back to popularity and the old school Hollywood ways. When you look at people you see in major films in Hollywood, you generally see a lot of the same faces.
You do.
You do. Pedro
and
Pascal.
a lot of the same stories.
Right, a lot of the same stories and a lot of the same faces. But where are those stories and opportunities for African Americans? Like we talked about Black Panther. Why wasn't he in Black Panther?
Excellent point that you brought up, because I would have never thought to consider that particular question.
Right. I watched an interview the other day with Michael Jai White, and he said the same thing. He was like, why wasn't, you know what I'm saying, why wasn't Jaimin in Black Panther? In some capacity.
And what's going on with Michael White, Mr. White? Fantastic actor, fantastic martial artist, produces a ton of independent films.
Yeah.
He was actually in a couple of Tyler Perry films.
Yeah.
What's going on with that actor?
From
your perspective?
From my perspective, I think he's tired of the Hollywood game and just decided to use his own money and produce his own projects.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's frustrating. I have a couple of projects that I'm trying to produce, and I'm trying to go the Hollywood route and get some notoriety or some bigger production houses to take a look at my projects, and we don't want to see it.
Now, when you spoke about writing scripts, you stated that a lot of these people don't even have emails.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the old school people don't operate that way.
It's kind of difficult to even make contact with anyone to, submit a script.
Right.
Would you care to elaborate on that?
Yeah, a lot of places don't even accept unsolicited scripts. So you have to go the route of either knowing someone, like you have to first have a literary agent. That literary agent has to have a manager. That manager has to know someone at the production company. That production company person needs to know one of the higher ups or someone in acquisitions, and then that acquisitions person has to even have the desire to read your project. And it's not.
So it's always another layer. It's like this really big Hollywood onion.
Yeah.
And the more layers this big onion has, the harder and the more, disgruntled a lot of people will get over time.
Yeah, and they just say, nah. Even Ice Cube, in all of his success with the Friday franchise, right? Mm-hmm. Why he's been trying to get another Friday movie out for a decade. Why?
Really?
That's Ice Cube.
And they're not trying to make movement on that.
No, they finally just said, all right. You know, they finally kind of greenlit it, and he's finally working on putting it together. But a decade and trying to get one movie out.
Why do you think that time gap was there? Is it Hollywood being Hollywood? Is it Hollywood looking for something else fresh?
Hollywood being Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to use the R word. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people want to throw it around. Yeah, throw it around and say, well, that's just an excuse because look at such and such. They did it. But you have to understand that there is a sort of bias when it comes to making films. And the people in control of putting out those films are not of the minority demographic.
Okay.
Put it like that. Yeah.
Switching gears, coming back down to the local level down in Houston, how big is the, acting scene here for local actors?
It's a lot bigger than people seem to think.
Really?
A lot bigger, yeah. There are people, I know personally 4 directors, producer, writers that are making projects as we speak. one of those people, she's like on her 26th film.
Wow.
You know, and I'm in a show called Bordersville, and the writer director of that, Kiara Cruz, she's working on another project, like 2 or 3 more films. She's in a bunch of stuff. I know a bunch of cinematographers, a bunch of directors, a bunch of actors. Like, it's a lot bigger than people think. It's just not Hollywood productions here.
Well, we recently, ANN, VEDA magazine, VEDA World News, and Houston Media Source, we were actually at the Houston Media Conference.
Okay.
Okay. The Texas Film Commission was there. Now, on our end for VEDA World News, we were not satisfied with the incentive program that they had, which has currently been boosted 5% from its past 20% to 25%.
Okay.
Louisiana is 40%.
Okay.
Where do you see the Texas Film Commission now and in the next 3 years?
In the same spot that they're in now.
And what current spot are they in now?
What major productions do you see happening in Houston or Texas altogether? There's one major production company with one person, and that's Taylor Sheridan, is doing all of the major work. He shot 1883, 1923, and he's shooting Landman, you know.
Okay.
And Lioness. All of those are being shot up in Dallas, in that region. But other than that, I can't think of anybody else shooting anything in Houston or Texas or Dallas or Austin, other than, you know, commercials and, you know, industrials and stuff like that.
What do you think is required for Houston to really develop a blockbuster film? I mean, I talk to people all the time. I talk to you, and they want to see a Bad Boys type film. They want to see stuff being blown up downtown because they know it's a film set. You know, the type of jobs, just the sheer amount of jobs, major production brings. What's going on?
You know, that is a very good question. I think through my research, the last major film that was shot in Houston was a Clint Eastwood film. I think it was Space Cowboys, and I think that was shot like, it was like the 90s. You know, that was the last major Hollywood production that got greenlit and was shot here.
I know
it was
we
at NASA. You know?
Right, because I know we had Jason Lyrics.
Yeah, Jason Lyrics.
And then we also had, oh my God, RoboCop in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm still a fan of, by the way.
Right, of course.
Even the newer forms, but man, just getting past that hump, man, is really something.
Yeah, and I can only speculate what it is, but truth be told, who knows? Only the higher ups know. We're the fourth largest city in the United States.
We are with 2.3 million people here.
Yeah, where's the movies? You know, they're shooting more movies in New Orleans and Atlanta, and you know, other locations that are not as big and not as diverse, and they're getting all the money and the incentives, and we're just here.
Speaking of money and incentives, House Bill 22. What was it, $250 million or something like that? It's really up there. It's past the $200 million mark. They're supposed to be fighting to get that bill passed. I don't know if it's been passed just yet. Where do you see the bulk of that money going, if you were to speculate?
That's a very good question. Maybe it's going to be used to entice people to shoot major productions here, but I don't see it going anywhere, honestly. They've had, over the past couple of years, they've had plenty of programs that were, we're going to bring people here, we're going to bring, it was supposed to be some gigantic film studio built out Sam Houston something, like 10 years ago. It's not there. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's there. It's just there's always something in the works, and then you look 5 years later and it's not there. It's not there.
Let's talk about Rage.
Okay.
Now, being a set photographer, I get the opportunity to see things slightly different than the cinematographer would, even the director.
Right.
I have to say, one, your performance was excellent, incredible.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed taking those photos. But there is a controversial scene that we shot, what was it, Saturday?
Okay.
With the family.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on that? Are you able to talk about that? I don't know.
I mean, We can talk about it. I don't know how much detail I can give without giving too much away.
Right. Well, let's talk about how you felt about that. How did you feel about that, and how do you navigate how you felt about that?
I just try to tell myself that it's just a scene and we're all actors, but it's difficult dealing with kids in that aspect because they don't understand sometimes. You know,
Okay.
when you have with a scene that visceral, they might not get it, or they understand it, but you don't have control of your emotions when you're young like that.
Understood.
So even though you know this is not real, you can't respond like it's not real. You know, I don't really know how to explain
It's a
it.
cognitive process.
Yeah, it's a process when, okay, I'm gonna go, like if I'm going through this in real life, it's different from going through it in an acting scenario, but when your brain hasn't developed, then you can't separate the two. Even though you know it's not real, your perception doesn't know. You know, your
Understood.
subconscious doesn't know.
That maturation hasn't came yet.
Right. So
Okay.
you're still, you know, I just kept asking his mom, like, is he okay? Is he good?
Yeah,
Is he
I
good with
saw him when he
us?
came to the kitchen. I didn't say anything. I just, hey, I'm
Yeah.
just a set photographer.
Yeah.
Boxing. Are you a fan of boxing?
I am. I do like
Okay,
watch
and
boxing,
did
yeah.
right. So for this film, did you do any boxing training? Any special training for it?
I did.
Really?
One of my trainer was on set.
Okay.
That guy T-Roy. He was helping me learn some form and some technique and learn how to punch, and he ran me through some paces. And it's a lot harder than it looks.
Okay.
I will say that training was hard.
So you guys actually did like the Rocky style training, where it was
Yeah.
just like really?
Yeah, he had me jumping rope. He had me doing drills and push-ups, and yeah, he had me doing all of that, hitting the bags. I even bought a speed bag and a heavy bag and put it in my garage so I could, you know what I'm saying,
Let me ask you a question.
do it myself.
When is the next time you're gonna have a workout session with the trainer?
I don't know. I know we're done with the fight scenes, so
Okay.
that's all done. But I did tell him, hey, I need to keep up with this because I liked it. As much as I hated it, I liked it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because it did have me worn out. It was very, very rigorous.
Because I'm looking to get some footage or some montage footage of
Okay.
you two just kind of going through that training process. Because a lot of people, they love boxing here in this country and elsewhere,
Right.
but they don't know the back end of it.
Right.
They don't understand the strategy, or may not even be privy to the strategies, or the exercises, or the routines, or even the mindset that's required to be a boxer.
Right. Right. I didn't understand it either.
Really?
I had done some little training when I was in like middle school or junior high or something, but not as an adult. You know, I just did that because, you know, kids don't want to be on the streets. Go do something. You know, you join a gym and they got gloves there. You know what I'm saying? That's all it really was. But yeah, he did that stuff for real. You know, so he was showing me how it really operates and how like move like this. You gotta hold your feet like that. Like, you know, real, not street boxing, real technique.
Yeah.
And you know, it was some of that stuff I was able to incorporate into the scenes. But yeah, it's a lot harder than I thought it was. Very cardio.
How did you feel about the other boxer in the film? How did you feel about him?
As far as his
Performance-wise, that fight scene that you guys had, like, how did you feel about that?
I think he did a great job.
Okay.
I really did. I was after we were done, I was like, you did a really good job, man. So I had to tell him.
Because he's gonna be over, because you know how he is. He's gonna talk smack about you.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know. Nah, I did. He did a great job, man.
Okay.
He really did. I was very happy with the way everything turned out. He impressed me. I'll say that.
Really?
Yeah, he really did.
Are you a SAG actor?
I am SAG eligible, but I have not joined the union.
All right. For the people that may not know what that is, what is that?
SAG eligible is when you've done enough work under SAG guidelines and rules and requirements, and you have the ability to join the union and be a part of that particular part of your career, but you just haven't filled out the paperwork and paid the fees. Yeah, the entry fee. That's really it.
Quick question, with Texas and how Texas feels about unions, are they getting along?
Well, I'll say that I wouldn't say necessarily getting along, but the thing is, because there's a lack of SAG work in Texas, it's work, but it's not a lot of it. It's more beneficial to only be SAG eligible and not be a part of the union, because once you join SAG, you can't do non-union work.
Good.
If I was a SAG actor, if I joined the union, I wouldn't have been able to do Rage, because
Wow.
yeah, they won't let you, because
Really?
yeah, it's like, yeah, it's SAG is kind of like your benefits, you know.
Okay.
And if you go to a production where, look at it in terms of like workers' comp, you know what I'm saying? You work on a SAG project and you're covered by SAG. Anything happens on that SAG project, SAG has your back, like insurance, right?
Understood.
Now, I go do a non-union project and they don't pay me. SAG can't do anything about that. If I go to a non-union project and I get hurt, SAG can't do anything about that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they don't cover you. So they strictly forbid you from working on projects that they're not involved in for your
Understood.
own protection.
Okay.
Yeah, your own benefit and protection. So it's good to be SAG eligible, because on non-union projects you can actually ask for more money. You're like, I'm SAG, I don't have to do, you know, you can. That's a little bit of leveraging power.
Gotcha.
But it's a lot of people I know are SAG eligible and will not join because they live here and because of the lack of, you know, productions here for SAG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you travel a lot often?
I haven't in a while, because I've been taking a lot of work here, and again, I've been working on my own stuff for the last 2 years. But I'm not against it. I haven't found anything that interests me that much, or it's either that or I've auditioned for stuff that I was interested in and I just hadn't got it yet.
Quick question. What kind of roles do you typically play?
Usually the bad guy.
Okay.
I don't like
now,
that.
why is that? And why is that?
I mean, I do it pretty good, and I
Okay.
think I have that not good guy look. I think I get typecast into that, but it's okay. You know, I took the Rage project because I felt like, even though he does some bad stuff, he's trying to do it for a good reason. Well, no, I take that back.
Okay.
Everything he did was bad.
Okay, everything he did was bad in Rage. Okay.
And until he realized he had to do something for his family and, you know, something for everyone else, and then he sacrificed himself for everybody else.
Wow.
You know, but yeah, he was a I wouldn't say necessarily a bad guy, but a very morally ambiguous person. He kind of just did what he wanted.
You know what? And it's funny you say that, because I actually felt that through my camera.
Really?
I did, especially in that house scene when you came in. Oh God, I don't want to give it away. It's really good. It's really good.
Okay.
But that house scene, you had the blue suit outfit on. I could see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, through the lens. Let me ask you, what roles do you want to play, but you have not had the opportunity to get into?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know.
You know, I wouldn't mind being in a Marvel movie.
Okay. But
I'd love to be a superhero, man.
And it'd be okay. Why?
Because they just look like they have so much fun.
Okay, but it's a lot of work.
It is. I don't care. This was a lot of work. I don't care.
This is true.
Yeah. You know, people look up to superheroes.
They
You know, they look at them and I feel like that's a instant role model and an instant step up. You know, people say, I want to be like that guy. Well, you know what? I was that guy. You know, so
Okay.
and superheroes are I don't know, they're just fun to play, you know.
Which one would you like to play?
Well, one of them I wanted to play, he's already been taken by that guy, Aaron Pierre. I wanted to play John Stewart, or John, crap, I can't think of his last name. Was it John Stewart? The Green Lantern?
The Green Lantern?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know there's Hal Jordan and John Stewart. Yeah, John Stewart.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
What attracts you to that role?
I like Green Lantern's powers because it's all about willpower. You have to be a really, really strong individual to wield that ring, and if your will breaks for any second, you've lost your power. You know?
Understood.
So you have to be strong all the time, and you have to be able to see yourself through all kind of adversity.
Would that be indicative of who you are?
I feel like it is, yeah.
Okay, so that's why you identify with the role.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's fair to say.
Yeah, I like that character. But he got it, so I can't, again.
But you know, they do recast. Every so often, they do.
They do. Usually it's in extreme cases like with a reboot or something. And if they do a bad job. But I don't see him doing a bad job. You know who it is who got the part right. Yeah,
Yes,
he's gonna do a good job.
Well, we're hoping, because I heard some rumors from back in the day, they were not happy with the Green Lantern.
The one
like the film that they did really.
It was terrible. The movie, yeah, it was bad.
I don't want to say that because I have to be,
Yeah, you have to be unbiased. The movie with Ryan Reynolds you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say that I won't say whether it's good or bad. What I will say is,
okay.
Did you see Deadpool 2?
I'm not a fan.
But you saw it though, right?
No, I did not.
You didn't see it?
No.
Okay. Well, there's a part in that movie where Ryan Reynolds plays Deadpool.
Yes, he does.
He uses the time machine that Cable had, and he goes back in time and kills himself while reading the Green Lantern script before. So that lets you know who thinks it's bad.
Okay.
So, you don't have to say it's bad. I don't have to say it's bad.
Okay, but Green Lantern is saying it's bad.
Deadpool went back and murdered himself before he could accept it. So
understood.
That lets you know right there.
Wow.
I didn't think it was bad though. I thought it was actually pretty good. I really didn't think it was bad.
On your recommendation, I will make time out within the next month to take a look at it. My production schedule is like absolutely insane.
Yeah.
What do people need to know about you? What should they know? Who is Gabriel Bush?
Gabriel Bush is an actor, model, a writer, and I just want people to understand how passionate I am about, the art world and being creative.
You know what? I can attest to that. Anyone who's working to 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday and have to be at work at 6 in the morning on Monday?
I had to be there at 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
It takes a lot out of a person to do that.
Yeah. I was really tired.
I believe
I was really tired.
For up and coming actors and actresses, what words of wisdom would you give them?
Never stop learning. You're never, I don't want to say you're never good enough, but you should always think you don't know everything, because you don't. There's always going to be a role that you think you got it until it's time to shoot it, and I don't have it.
Wow.
I gotta reach deeper. I gotta dig for more, because on paper it's one thing to look at it and say, yeah, I can do this. It's another thing when you get on set and you're with another actor who makes you look at your character a whole different way because of the way that they perceived it, and the way that they made you see it is better because you didn't see it because they weren't in your face. You know what I'm saying? So you never stop learning. There's always something around the corner to make you learn.
If you could go back and change one or two things about your acting career, what would it be?
That is a hilarious question.
Okay.
But I have a funny story for you.
We want to hear it.
How much time you got? You got a couple minutes?
Yes, we do.
All right. In 2017, I was emailing. I had got on this acting forum thing online, and I was just sending out, pictures and resumes, like I'm trying to get work. And I had sent my resume and stuff out to some people in Atlanta. I don't know who it was, but they emailed me back and they were like, hey, we like your pictures. We're doing reshoots of this feature film called Motherland. This was 2016, 2017. I'm on internet looking up whatever this project in Motherland, I don't know what this is. I couldn't find nothing on it except a documentary. So I'm like, okay, it must be some new shit or whatever. I send them back, I'm like, yeah, I'll come out there. They send me a date. They're like, come get your costume, blah, blah, blah. I go out there to Atlanta, and the project is on Tyler Perry's new place, right? So I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? So I get there. I still don't know what this project is. So I get there, and they're putting me in costume, and there's a lot of other people there. And after they get me costumed up, they're like, okay, you got to come sign this paperwork, and then you're gonna come back at such and such date. I'm like, all right. So it was like 5 days I had to come back to Atlanta, like 3 weeks later. So I'm like, okay, what is this? So I get to the paperwork and I'm signing and I'm signing and I'm signing, and it's the NDA. I'm like, okay, what is this? And then it was also another part that I needed to sign it. Right before I was about to sign it, they were like, hey, stop. One of the production guys saw you and he wants to change your costume. So I'm like, basically it was like, we want to give you an upgraded role. He liked your look. You know, you were just walking by and he was like, we're missing a guy, so we need another guy. I like that guy. So he was like, come back. They gave me another costume. I'm still not knowing what this project is.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, whatever. So they give me another costume. They throw that other contract away and they give me another one. You're like, reading it. I'm about to leave. And he's like, okay, now you got to sign this. So I sign it. And as I'm signing it, I'm like kind of skimming through it because, you know, sometimes you just don't read stuff. You're like, whatever, I'm reading. So I'm reading it, and it was for Black Panther. So
really,
it was for Black Panther. So I'm like, cool, all right, whatever. Now at the time, 2016, 2017, they hadn't really announced who was in this movie. I didn't know who was in it. I didn't know who was starring in it. I just saw Black Panther. So I was like, okay, cool. So I go back home, and I'm waiting for the time to shoot it. And they call me and they say, now mind you, I had taken off of work already for the days that they had already told me I needed to be off. They called me back and were like, we had to change the days. And I had paid for a hotel and everything, non-refundable, so I couldn't get my money back. So I'm mad already when they tell me they changed the days. They tell me what days it is, and it's over the weekend. So it's like Thursday, Friday, and then they're gonna shoot on like the next following Tuesday and Wednesday. So Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I didn't have any place to stay. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to sleep in my car. I already spent, $1,000 on this hotel. I can't get back for a whole set of different days. I can't afford to go now. So I was really mad. Long story short, I didn't go back. I was just that mad. And obviously, Black Panther came out.
How did that make you feel?
I felt stupid because I should have gone. I felt stupid. No, wow. I felt even more stupid when I'm sitting in the movie theater and I see the guy standing next to Chadwick in my costume. Like, that was...
Which guy?
It was the guys that were in purple and gold, the four guys.
Oh, those guys.
The 4 King's Guards. They had upgraded me to King's Guard. I was just going to be a regular guy, and I was like, I get to be in Black Panther. But they were like, you're going to be a featured, and I still didn't know. I'm like, whatever. I would have been standing right there, I would have taken that. I would have slept in my car. I would have, I would have slept in my car for that. But I didn't have any real details. I didn't know.
It was just so vague.
Yeah, it was just like, we're gonna upgrade you. All right, and then you're coming back this day. All right, nobody was really excited or like, oh, you're in. I didn't feel any excitement, so I didn't think it was a big deal. I would change that. I would go out there and sleep in my car. I'm saying, or something. I would just borrow the extra $1,000 and got a hotel. I would have done something to be a part of that production. All the people that were in that, Forrest Whitaker, Angela Bassett, Chadwick Boseman. Come on, man. Michael B. Jordan. I'm so mad that I didn't do that. Yeah.
Well, I'm quite sure. An actor of your caliber. Something's coming back around. I can almost guarantee that.
Yeah, I hope so. I believe so too. I just think about it, like, if there's one thing I could change, I would have done that, because I think it would have changed the trajectory just being around that energy. Even if I had nothing would have came from it, like financially, something would have came mentally, like, I'm around, this is where I'm supposed to be. It would have been a different kind of motivation, like, I'm supposed to be around these guys, and that's why I'm here. And then I probably would have went home and tried harder in a different, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Something would have motivated me.
Would have changed the trajectory of your career.
My mentality would have been different or something. Which, of course, it is still different because I didn't go. But, it's a fork in the road kind of thing.
Understood.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
I am on Facebook as Gabriel Bush. I'm sorry, I think I changed my name to G.A. Bush, but you can still pull in Gabriel Bush and they'll pull it up. You can find me on Instagram at Gabriel.A.Bush, and you can find me, I think my TikTok is still active. I never post on it, but it's also...
I never do either, so don't feel bad about that.
I have one, but I don't use it. But that's also Gabriel Bush.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I do appreciate you stopping by, interviewing out with us here at VEDA World News. Best of luck on the film Rage and any other film that you may be working on in the future. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right.